as you heard at the beginning of the lecture when you heard Joe Holmes and Len Graham from Ulster singing in unison. Not a very common practice in traditional singing nowadays, but nevertheless. So this is a very relaxed and heartwarming style from the west of Ireland. So this is Sarah and Rita Kane singing a song called I'm Thinking, Ever Thinking.
Oh, joy came to my bosom as I reached Covin Cork, and what a white star lying Northern I landed in New York. The houses were of jasper and the streets were paved in gold, and the ladies in their splendor so charming to behold.
Okay, I'm sure you'll agree it's very relaxing, very heartwarming, and what I would define as the hearth fire song tradition. Up to my own province, again, to take the northern singers, or the Ulster singers if you like, they have a very distinctive Ulster repertoire. We heard there Joe Holmes and Len singing a song called The Beggar Man. We also then heard Rita Gallagher, who's in our midst here today, singing The Blackbird, and of course Geordie Hanna singing Lisburn Lass, and Niall Hanna singing Erin's Lovely Home. Examples of northern songs that spring to mind are a song, The Flower of Sweet Erin the Green, which was made famous by Cathal Lynch. Your Ramblin' Boys of Pleasure, which was from the various sources such as Robert Cinnamon and Paddy Tunney. Brock a Bray from Geordie Hanna, Sarah Ann O'Neill, and Old Arbo from Geordie Hanna as well. The Ulster style of singing is, traditionally speaking, not as ornamented as singers from, say, the west or the southern counties of Ireland, such as Kerry, Cork and Tipperary. However, in today's world, and this goes for all styles, singers nowadays have been influenced by travelling, technology, and overall better access to recordings, i.e. the word globalisation springs to mind. For example, people years ago didn't travel as much due to, I suppose, vehicles, lack of money, all etc. So when I'm talking about the styles and analysis, which I will continue to do, it's a broad overview, it's an opinion, but styles throughout the country, particularly, and we're sticking to traditional songs and styles in the English language, vary up and down the country. As I said, they vary from individual to individual, county to county, region to region. For example, if you take Ulster and you compare the likes of the singing of John Kennedy from Cullybackey, it's John Kennedy here, and if you compare him to the likes of Gabriel McGardle, both in the same province. John is from County Antrim, Gabriel is from County Fermanagh, and they sing completely different. They have their own personal, individual style, which is immediately very distinctive and instantly recognisable. Now I'm going to play examples of both John Kennedy and Gabriel McGardle singing. Both men I know personally, and may I just say, any of the tracks or any of the playlists that I'm playing here today, most of them I know personally. Some of them I unfortunately didn't know, but most of them I know personally. So when I was gathering together my playlist for this talk here today, I suppose the ones that I knew personally, I've heard commercial recordings of them, and I've also heard them singing in singing sessions, festivals, etc. throughout Ireland. John Kennedy we're going to play first. John is singing a song called The Girls Along the Road. And John, a very colourful character, and also John is a great tin whistle player from a place called Cullybackey. So I think John can speak for himself in his singing here. So this is John Kennedy singing The Girls Along the Road.
I'm now in the vein of a nice refrain, so pay attention all around, for the words I will tell are about to swell. I'll introduce as Brown. He enlisted in an Antrim regiment. Now all who listen to me ode, do the things that's right, going home tonight with the girls along the road. With the girls along the road, with the girls along the road. Do the things that's right, going home tonight with the girls along the road. Now Brown was a spark.
Okay, we're going to play now, as I say, Gabriel McGardle, or Gaby McGardle, from Enniskillen in County Fermanagh. And Gaby is singing a song called Flora. One point I just want to say before, I know they're from the same province of Ulster, as I said, with very distinctive styles, very different styles. But one thing I'm going to say about Gaby, the recording I chose from Gabriel McGardle, Gaby is using accompaniment. Wow. Now, this is a discussion which comes up very often. Does a traditional song become non-traditional when somebody uses accompaniment, be it a guitar, a mandolin, a synthesizer, piano, whatever the case may be? And the answer to that is, once a song is always traditional, it is always traditional. It doesn't become non-traditional. But perhaps some people would argue that the style, the traditional style of singing, doesn't be the same. For example, at the beginning there, when we played Rita Gallagher, she didn't need accompaniment. Her voice was very musical, very tuneful, highly decorative. So therefore, to put music to that, if you don't mind me saying, Rita, would perhaps intrude in the voice, just my opinion. But nevertheless, in today's world, we live in a society of commercialism. People do use guitars and accompaniment to sell albums. That's the way it is. So it's open for opinion. So this is Gaby McGardle singing song Flora with accompaniment.
As I went a-walking one evening in June, to view the green fields and the meadows in bloom, the fields and green branches, they were all clad with the young, and the birds in the bushes, they merrily did sing. Was there ever a lover as happy as me and my Flora and I?
Okay, so I'm sure you can see back to the difference between John Kennedy singing and Gabriel McGardle, both from the same province of Ulster, but different styles. I'm now going to go on to a woman who I also knew personally. Her name was Maggie Murphy. Maggie was from a place called Tempo in County Fermanagh. The reason that I'm going to use Maggie, she is an example of someone, as I say, I knew personally. She didn't travel very far, extensively throughout Ireland. She would have rarely been, I would say, if ever, to an All-Ireland Fleadh. She learned a lot of her songs from neighbours coming into Keighley, her visit, and from the radio. I visited her many times. Myself and my brother recorded her at various singing sessions and in her home during the late 1990s. Most of the singing sessions, in fact, that we went to when I was preparing this talk, I was thinking back on Maggie, were around the counties Tyrone and Fermanagh, and perhaps maybe once or twice in County Donegal. So the reason I'm using Maggie is someone who wasn't influenced by many, if you like, outside sources. For example, most of the other singers that I've played here today and will play later would have travelled to Fleadhs throughout the country or festivals, or met people, etc., etc. Maggie didn't do that. Maggie is now dead. I think she might be dead 13 or 14 years. So most of the songs, and she had a vast repertoire of songs in the English language. And she was recorded by a man called Keith Summers, on various singers from her area around Fermanagh. These recordings are from 1977. They were done between 1977 and 1983. And it's great. So this is Maggie singing a song called The Crockery Ware.
In Limerick town there lived a maid that I knew right well. For one request I asked her for, with one sweet night with her to dwell. Then me lily walk for the deedle-I-G-O, lily walk for the deedle-I-G-O. This young maid on her way home, thinking of the trick she'd play, Behind the door she placed a chair, and on that chair some crockery ware. The lily whack fall the deed lie G-O, lily whack fall the deed lie G-O.
Now, you can hear the background there. That was recorded, I would assume, in a pub or somewhere, and you know, all that. The rest of the record, funny enough, I should make that point. Most of I think the recordings I played to date have been probably done in either studios or done in a more formal setting, whereas that was done by what we like to call field recordings. So you can hear people saying "good girl" and "fair," and you can hear the clicking of glasses and all that. And I think that's very earthy, and it's something nowadays that you don't perhaps get. Certainly not in traditional singing. I mean, you get live recordings on CDs, but you rarely get that type of thing. So it's kind of earthy, if you like. Okay, in contrast to the west of Ireland and of course Ulster,